Alrighty. So we've made some friends. We've made some networks. Fabulous. So today is a very, very, very important day. We're going to see a couple of founders pitching their amazing and innovative ideas. And then we also get to hear from some experts telling us how they can improve their businesses or what they love the most about their businesses. Any founders in the room? Okay, we've got some. How are we feeling? A little bit shaky, a little bit shaky. Okay, but you're gonna do well. All right, so I don't wanna waste too much of your time because one of my mandates is to make sure that we are on time. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our first speaker for today. Her name is Tesha Bangu from AWS, who dabbles in corporate affairs, external communications, diversity and inclusion, women in tech, and she's also a board member. So if she could please come up to the stage to give up our opening remarks.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
That goes back.
Awesome.
Big one.
Let's put this. Oops. Molweni. Good morning. Goeiemorgen. Dumelang. Afsheng. I think we've done 5. It's okay. We have done the diversity and inclusiveness piece, so we can tick that box. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Tesha Bangu. I actually am a mother of 3 female future leaders, and one of them is sitting over there. And I'm very honored today because this is a big day. It's not just about women, but just also creating opportunities for women in startup is amazing. I am actually proud and humbled to be part of this process. And thank you to all the organizers for actually creating this moment. It's a big moment, and I'm about to show you how. Okay, so let's go. Okay, this is me, no? So while we're doing, everywhere you go, when you're trying to have a presentation, it works until people comes into the room, and then it doesn't work. It happens all the time. So I'm sure you've been here. But welcome to the AWS Women Startup Demo Day. I just want to kick off on what are we doing in South Africa. As AWS, we're super invested and committed to startups. This is one of our biggest focus. And there's never been a greater time to be in Africa right now. If you look at just the numbers in our history, we are actually about to celebrate 20 years in South Africa next year. We officially started in 2006. But actually, our company, AWS, was opened in 2004. And it was started here in this home in Cape Town. So this is our base. And look at the journey we've taken now. And I'm just going to go through a couple of pointers and also facts of what you guys can look forward to today as an opportunity, especially the founders. I can't wait to see you guys pitch. I think that's going to be amazing. And so in summary, if you never remember anything today, remember this slogan: Africa, our time is now. So moving forward, I don't want you guys to be stuck in numbers because I'm not here to present numbers. But I wanted to show you this slide just in terms of the opportunity, the size of opportunity for Africa. This is super important because I think startups are moving in a very tremendous trend, and you are part of it. You actually can say, I'm part of this growth. I mean, we came out of COVID and people were hopeless. We didn't even know whether we were going to survive. Did you even know you were going to be alive today? I mean, during COVID, I think that's all we did. We looked and said, pray, Lord, this is how we meet, okay. What have I done? What are my bucket lists? But we're still here. So there's never been a better time to be alive and to actually develop. Look at the size of opportunity in Africa. Guys, I'm talking about exponential growth. Africa is experiencing the most steadiest growth, and we are part of that narrative. I think a lot of times we underestimate ourselves as Africans. We're always thinking, but we're waiting for the global world to shake us up. We are the formidable force, and I think women in the room, remember that. You are part of this growth, and you are part of how Africa is making and shaking the universe in terms of startups in Africa. I just wanted to share with you some of the fact of where is the main funding captured. I'm obviously highlighting Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt. But you are part of this map. You are South Africans, and you should be thinking, I want to see this map growing because I'm part of it. And the main funding is obviously captured in the big four markets. But we actually need to be today growing this margin. And I think the companies that are in the room are actually our exciting moment that we're actually going to see this number growing for us as a region. So why are we here today? What is really happening in the female ecosystem? And only this slide, I want you to think about a number. You know, 2% of money in terms of going to funds is actually sitting with women. How big is this opportunity? How can we grow this? Why are we doing this event, this particular event? We've had this event in Johannesburg. We've had it in a lot of countries as well. And we're coming here to Cape Town to say today, you are the sizable opportunity we want you to see as growing in this space. Let's talk about how do we as AWS try and actually drive inequality in this space? So I just wanted to zoom in. I keep focusing on the left. Let me give some love this side. So one of the biggest pointers that I want you to remember today, and Mark taught me something today, that this works. So if you can pay attention to South Africa, that 23%, 23.1%, and this side, this is us, guys. This is the best funded startup ecosystem number that we're looking at in South Africa. How do we make sure that only, and remember, only $1 is given to a woman. So our ratio is literally 1 against men who's sitting at 25%. And there's a reason for this, and I'll tell you why. I don't know how many times you've gone into an interview or pitching for a business or trying to get money as a woman startup. Who are the women startup in the room that have actually applied for funding? And how many times out of every time you've had the opportunity, you sat in a panel that had women in the panel? Not often, right? So there's another point I want to raise today. Not only that, men, for some reason, clearly whoever created us, the God that I believe is female, gave something to men that we as women need to learn. Men walk into a room and own space. Men walk into the room, they already know they have the money. How do we then as women take up that seat and be confident and make sure that when we enter this room, we enter with confidence? I think we need to start by addressing some of the inequalities in our African founders. There's a lack of investment in us, lack of representation, financial parts, but I think mostly and most importantly for us today, we also want to build confidence in women. We want to make sure that when they get there, they are the money makers. They are the money. They are the ones that are chosen for funding. There's a quote that I love the most. It says, "If you want to do something, if you want to get something done, give it to a woman." Can you imagine if we as women had this opportunity all the time men did? How much difference, how much impact we can have in our communities? There was also a debate I listened to last week where it was actually on radio. There was a guy and a female, and they were asked, if I give you a salary of 10K, we're just using a simple salary now, what would you do with your money? The guy started thinking how he was starting to look at the cars, which one he can afford with 10,000. Not even mentioning his bed or where he's going to sleep. Clearly he's sleeping with his mother's house. I don't know. But the same question was posed to a woman, and he said, I've got 5 heads to feed. The impact that we can have as a nation, as a region, when women actually get funding is unimaginable. So if a guy can only think of a car and a woman can really think about feeding the nation, let's focus on our funding. And I don't want you to read the slide, and I'm hoping that the team can share with you later. But I wanted to highlight a couple of things. So how do we build a gap? By fostering an atmosphere that allows female entrepreneurs to succeed. And I think that we've done today. And I think this is just not a once-off. A lot of this needs to happen. Promoting a lot of mentorship and networking opportunities. So this is something that I also learned from men. Men goes to soccer clubs, go to rugby games, go to golf to make money, to sign a deal. How many times do we go out for coffee and wine and we still come back with nothing? I don't want to say this because I'm one of those, but use your networks, guys. Use your network. Be intentional about networking. Networking is not just by accident. You go, when somebody says there's a dinner somewhere tonight, find out who's there. How can I make an impact? Guys do that all the time. So women, we must stop waiting for things to happen or somebody to knock at our door. Let's look at our network. And providing access to resources and money. Look, later on I'm going to ask Henry to stand up. Henry, this is the part where you really need to help the ladies. Where is the money? Where is the money? And then addressing our gender divide. And I think this is something that we are intentional at AWS to make sure that women are part of our journey. So if in a moment, I just want to, I'm sure you're also wondering, okay, LWS, you've brought us here, so what? Networking, yes. Bridging the divide, yes, but what is your contribution? And this is huge for us. So Henry, in 2 seconds, without a mic, without a podium, can you just tell the ladies, explain the funding that we at AWS provide for funders? And I think clarify as well, what do we mean by funding? Who are we funding? Because I don't want people to hijack you today thinking you've got money somewhere in a boot. So if you can just do that for me for 1 minute, please.
No, sure. No, I'm actually prepared.
No, you've got a mic. You've got a mic.
Oh, this is great. Should I hold it like
this? No, you put it here.
Like this. Where is it? Oh, is it? This is a very big one. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so AWS obviously is on a journey to try and improve access to funding, right? We've launched a catalytic fund globally, $300 million. It's a fund of fund, right? So it will work through the existing investors going forward. We've also run a program jointly with Africa Arena, specifically to help women founders get in front of the right investors. To give you an idea, the event in Cape Town at the end of the year, and there's 8 events, so it runs everywhere. It's not Joburg, it runs in Cape Town, it runs in Dakar, Tunisia, Cairo, as well as Kenya, and then Berlin, New York, and Paris. A lot of places where there's investors. And what we do there is we have a women a pitching funding program, specifically similar to this, but at more countries, right? So that is, the reason for that is when I was a founder, finding the active investor, the right investor, took a lot of time. And we have a responsibility, all of us, to get in front of the right investors. So why not just shortcut your journey in that way? We have lots of interesting programs, and I think quite a few of the female founders could attest to that. We have a startup program called Activate. It's not funding, but it will reduce the bill of building, for example, on AWS for up to $100,000 as an example, right? So I'm just going to leave it there for a few seconds. We're all working on the narrative and how to support the program, especially this one.
This is an amazing program, Henry, and thank you so much for sharing. This slide was actually based on the program that Henry was sharing and why we're doing this. Because, again, this is our time. Femtech, this is our time. Remember this, and if you need more information, please reach out to the team. We can give you more data. I'm now moving to one of my most favorite programs that we run in AWS. As AWS, we invest a lot in small businesses in South Africa. We do this because we want to make impact here at home. And we call this our AWS Equivalent Investment Program. A lot of us use EIP as an acronym, but we work for AWS, so we use acronyms every day. But I just thought I'll help you to understand the program. And it really speaks to that diversity and inclusiveness we're trying to do in the market, right? And I'm proud to say I've got a team here who actually represent EIP, Nomzamo and Geraldine. In 1 second each. Okay, vote who's speaking. Can you just also just share with the room? Give me the thing.
Another one here.
Let's see if these guys have played netball. Let me test it. So, in 2 minutes, can you tell us what the program is about? 2 minutes, I'm counting.
I can tell you didn't play. I can tell you didn't play basketball or netball.
Okay, volume, Nomzamo, volume.
It's not working. I am, okay.
Okay, yes, that's
Maybe
better.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So the Equity Equivalence Program is a 18 to 24 month, the light is in my eyes, development program to help SMEs, small medium enterprises, onto the AWS Partner Network. We fund up to $440,000 over a 24-month program to enable small businesses, and we are trying to focus more on women. Next year, we want to have a cohort of at least 10 female-owned, Black in particular, female-managed small businesses in software development in particular. So if you've got products that you want to launch on AWS, if you know someone, tell someone. If you can think of someone, tell someone to apply. The applications will be made public in January of next year. We're looking for at least 10 of them in January. We'll look for an additional 10 in August of next year, or July. Okay, July is the more correct one. And so effectively, we fund headcount, we fund hardware, we will fund your business over a period of 2 years. We will also fund headcount because we are trying to make sure that small businesses that are women-led, women-owned, do thrive in the country. We've got a couple of folks that are already in the program in the room. If you want to talk to them, if
Maybe you
raise your
can just shout out their names.
Yes.
Which
raise
company?
your hands, Cloud ZA. Raise your hands, 4 Minute Medicine, who just came onto
Awesome.
the program and can talk to the very grueling experience of getting onto the program. Just talk to them as they are in the room, just to let you know their experience. But effectively, myself, Xenia, and Geraldine are in the room as well. Please talk to us. But we're super excited to get women entrepreneurs to come on board and become APN partners. The idea is that we want more women to be on the APN, and we are working very hard to have APN partners in South Africa because there aren't very many of them that are South African and women-led. That's what we want to do.
Wonderful. Let's see how it goes.
Right.
Yes. Throw it back. I tried. Anyway. So if you remember anything, Xenia is wearing blue, Geraldine is wearing orange over there, and Nomzamo was just speaking. If you want more information, please reach out to them. But what Nomzamo didn't share with you is our success story. So now let me give you numbers. To date, we have 27 small businesses that have been in this program and they're successful. I think there's one thing that Nomzamo also highlighted. We don't just want startups that are going to be on the program. Guys, this is not an internship. You know, people go to internship 10 times until they're actually out of the age. This is a program for you to invest and be successful and go out and make more money and create more jobs. To date, we have created 180 jobs for the youth. So if you're going to be a startup and you're going to be scalable, who are you going to employ? How do you make sure that you actually bring in the youth into your business? And with that, we also have at least achieved 482 AWS certifications. Well done to the team for that, actually. And last but not least, the team has achieved 959 accreditations. So guys, if you're going to be part of EEIP, this is the most moment. This is your time. If you need to understand how to go through the process, how to succeed, you have all the resources in the room today. And now, before I close, I just want to remind you guys, we've seen a lot of women starting businesses and getting funding, but we're seeing a lot of them missing out on the social impact. We are not talking about the tenders, guys, that when you get one tender, you're now buying a Range Rover. We're not doing that. We are creating businesses that are sustainable, and I think this is something that is very important, especially to young people and mothers. When you start a business, it's a very hard time. So I'm sure the basic needs in your house and your family, they now suddenly amplify, but that's not the point. The point is for you to stick to the dream, work hard, because if you just stick it out for a year or two, that money will multiply, okay? So I don't want to meet any one of you driving a Range Rover, okay? I don't have any hatred for Range Rover. Actually, I want a Range Rover myself, can't afford it. But also, it's very important that we highlight this, because I think a lot of people miss an opportunity because of the intention. The intention must be right. We have all the resources to mentor you, to support you financially, to build your network. We've also helped a lot of women pitch ideas. If there's one person that understands funders and know how to pitch them, is Henry. I can create a date for you to make sure that he prepares you. When you walk in that room, you get the money. There's no point. I mean, why are you in that room if you're not getting the money? So with the help of our network, yeah, I mean, no, we don't play. We're not here to advertise ourselves. We're making money, right, ladies? Yes. We need to feed our families, including the men. So I just want to say, no, I'm coming there. So with all this will not be possible, first of all, if we didn't even have this center, right? The AWS Skills Center has not only created or trying to close that digital gap in terms of skills. Look at what is done. I mean, I've been here now for the 5th time. Just the amount of people that walk in here and have seen the major difference in their life. Young people walking in. The other day I was standing with Tiara, and I'm going to do so quickly just to tell you about the center. Two young boys came to us and started asking me, ma'am, what's going on here? I'm like, Tiara, come and explain. And then she started telling them about the program, their certifications, and they were just standing there and they were engaging until the end. And they said to her, how much? The face of those two young men, when she told them everything is free, I cannot even tell you. Like they signed up that day. They're like, this is it. Or even shaking their heads. You know how boys do their things. I want to see a lot of young girls doing that, you know, being curious. One of our biggest leadership principles at Amazon is learn and be curious. So in 2 seconds, Tiara, can you just share? Where's the ball?
I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Are you trying to come and do like a tennis ball? You're supposed to be a netball. Like shortcuts, eh?
Golf.
Golf, okay, golf.
Golf, not netball. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiara. I'm the site leader for the very first skills center outside of the US. We, as a business, already have 2. In 2021, as a business, we made a commitment to train 29 million people by 2025. I'm very happy to say that we are far exceeding halfway already. And one of the ways we're doing that in Africa, because our time is now, is that we built a physical skill center. In the last 3 years, what we realized is that many young people didn't have access to training. It was unaffordable, and they weren't aware of it. More so, weren't aware of what the future job opportunities are from an emerging technology space. So we provide free, yes, I'll say that again, free training. Mondays to Thursdays, we usually have 2 classes a day. Our training is 3.5 hours. We have a product agnostic training called Computer Foundations, which is 4 parts, can be done in any order. And then we've taken our foundational certification, Cloud Practitioner, and we've broken it up into 3 parts, making it more easier to consume. It's usually a 1-day program.
And if you need additional information,
You can speak to
can
me
speak to
later.
Tiara.
Thank you.
this is my 10 minutes and it's over. So before I close, I'm just going to open up for questions. 1 question this side, 1 question this side. And this is where you get the speaker, actually. Anyone would like to ask a question? No questions? Please. Nazo.
So once they've been through the training, do you offer them internships or do you introduce them to business? Because one of our challenges is finding young talent to bring into our business, and with these particular, because they're all very expensive, so we need to find the young interns. What do you do to support? Had she?
So we don't offer them internships because our mandate is to deliver training. But what we do is that from next year, we will start having career fairs for our graduates to be introduced to startups, small businesses. Because of certain regulations, we can't share information. But, you know, there are lots of them that are here very often. They use our student hub for additional learning opportunities. And if you just kind of come in one day, I'm sure we'll be able to connect you.
And just to close on that, so I didn't get your name? Leanne. If you are looking for someone young, come here, we'll find them for you. Simple.
Simple.
Yeah. This side, are you all funded, I assume? Right? The money is coming this way, guys. I'm sending it all over to you. Thank you so much, guys. Without further ado, this was my piece. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to hear some amazing success stories that come out of this room. And we're going to come back again, Henry, right, with this demo day. And this is going national next year. So let's do this. And thank you so much for being such an amazing audience. Next. Oh. How does this thing come out? Okay.
It's all the pressure on Henry for me. Love it. All the questions go that way. She said we could forget a lot of things about her presentation, but there's one thing that she said we mustn't forget. And what is that? What's that one quote she said we mustn't forget? If we forget everything about her presentation? Say it again. Africa, your time is now. Time for our next speaker. So thank you so much, Tay, for that. Our next speaker is Catherine Young, an African entrepreneur with executive level experience across a myriad of businesses, including a successful corporate career. Please give her a huge round of applause.
So I don't have fine motor skills, so what the hell do I do? Last night we were at an event, and there was a question. Thank you. I have no slides. Thank you so much. So last night I was at an event, and there was a question, you know, that awkward moment when you go around the table, and I don't mind sharing emotions. Actually, I do too much. But there was this question, what would be your most fearful moment if you were put on a spot? And I could really think of nothing. And then eventually I said, so thank God you didn't throw that thing to me. If somebody throws a ball to me, and I've got to catch it because I've got no motor skills, and I let the team down, that's probably my most fearful moment. So I'm Catherine Young. A friend sent me a message this week, and I was so inspired by it, because I'm having a cuck year, honestly. And but we're going to change this, right? And she said, remember this, you are the sun, everything else is weather. Wow. So now, everybody who wanted a little bit of a better year, backsides off the chair, men too, please, or did you not have a bad year? And let's just say this, I'm the sun. 1, 2, 3. I'm the sun. And I mean this again. 1, 2, 3. I'm the sun. Woo! Okay, fantastic. And let's believe that. And then all of a sudden it clicked. It's just weather. All the other stuff is just weather. So very briefly, turned 50. Now need glasses to be able to see what I want to say. Oh, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much. There's, for those who don't know me, but honestly, it feels like family, so I don't know if there's anybody in the room I don't know. I'm Catherine Young, originally founder of Think Room consulting business. I always say I'm about 25, but because we're in consulting, this is what it looks like. When you consult to entrepreneurs, you look twice the age. And then we have Grindstone, which is an accelerator. We co-own that with Knife Capital. And Grindstone Ventures, which is a post-seed fund. And we do investments. You've got to come through the accelerator, and then we do investments. Last year, right, Nance? Last year we started the NASPAS Grindstone X program. Yes, yes. And Noni's just done a fantastic job we selected amazing entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs last year in a cohort of 10 and with NASPASH tested something. And it was a phenomenal program. And I really learned a couple of things from that program. And we've been running programs literally for over a decade. This was different, and I mean energetically different. And this is no male bashing, and you'll know, and I'm going to take about 3-4 more minutes, but I'm going to speak about, for me, balanced teams work the best. So no male bashing in any way, but what was different for me about the first Grindstone X program was the vulnerability and what we were able to just get out of that by being so vulnerable. So now when we have our mixed programs and we get very fluffy, the men always say to me, Catherine, don't ask me a question, right? Don't ask me an emotional question. But the point is the vulnerability, and I see you right there. I'm coming to you. You're not making eye contact. But the point is that vulnerability is beautiful, and it makes us work. And so in Grindstone Ventures, we then, and this is an exciting little announcement I want to make, AWS, thank you, firstly, for doing what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful. We've seen the stats, only 2% of females get funding on a sort of annual basis. And the stats are amazing. There's a Harvard Business Review. Do yourself a favor and find it. And it says the following: where there are teams with female founders, on average, create 2.5 times more IRR. Now, if you ask a venture capitalist about IRR, that's what they live for, 2.5 times more IRR if you invest in female-founded businesses than only male-founded businesses, right? There's another statistic that says if you have females in investment committees, to the earlier speaker's point, in senior leadership teams, they employ at least 6 times more females than in the case where there's only male-founded businesses. But the power lies in blended businesses. So that's why I'm saying we really should continue to strive to blend our businesses. In Think-Room, I'm in a lot of trouble. We have 1 male and 11 females. I know that balance is off. I'm in big trouble. I've got to fix that. In Grindstone, Noni, do you have males in your team? I think it's time we do. I'm teasing, and then the knife team makes up for it. They're all males, so it's a good blended family. But here's the point, and I want to specifically, in closing, speak to the females in the room. It's time we tighten these abs. Just do that. It brings a feeling. If you're anxious, if you don't know how to do that chat or do that meeting. And I wonder, it could probably work for anybody. But you know, when I'm really anxious and I'm about to go into a darn difficult meeting, I do this. Imagine there's a chair, I'm back up, you know. And I tighten my abs without they really see. And I lower my voice by 1 octave. And a sense of calm comes in with the breathing. The point is we've got to start owning our space. There's no imposter syndrome stuff. It's not necessary. We're all beautifully created and beautifully talented. So I needed to land that with you. And there are 4 things. If you can do 4 things really well, I don't know how many startups and entrepreneurs I've personally worked with in my life. 30,000 at a light level, and probably 2,000 at a deep level over the last 15 years. And truly, they do 4 things well. Get onto your knowledge continuum very quickly and learn all the time. Forever be learning. We will never stop learning. That's the first one. Same with me. I'm forever learning. And would I if I can't. The next one is networks. I think the previous speaker spoke about this. Will you believe it if I say I'm a deeply introverted human being? This is much learned behavior. But it's continuous growth. Now it's learned behavior, and you do it, and you take it for granted. But networking was a thing I hated. In fact, if I go to an event still today, and there are people I don't know, dash it. I make sure that I go in just before I need to be there. I still do it today. And then about, I don't know, 3 years ago, I thought, stuff it. And then I'll just go and say, hi, I'm here. I really don't want to be here. But I want to tell you about my business, because I've also got product businesses. I want to tell you about my business, and I'm just telling you about my vulnerability. And then all of a sudden, the conversation starts, right? So for the introverts in the room, there's hope, but we have no choice. Networks is important. And then the last two things is markets and funding. And in the current environment, we're all darn concerned, right? We know where the venture capital market is. We know what's happening to valuations. Last night at this event, we heard that valuations are still going to continue to drop until the end of next year. They reckon the States will start turning a little bit, and then we will probably follow 8 to 10 months later. But the reality, there's blood on the walls. Let's find some swabs and cleaning material and clean this damn blood, right? We can make this. So make sure that if funding is difficult at the moment, which it is, but then you have amazing initiatives like AWS, and I'm going to tell you about one more now. Just make sure you get on those programs and work your backside off and just go for it. There's a saying that goes like this. If venture capital money is scarce, there's a grant for anything. I mean this. For now, goodness gracious me, go research global grants. There's a grant for everything, and gender lens investment is a big thing at the moment. So there are only 2 places of money that we currently see flow more freely: gender lens investment and green investment. And the last thing then, Maya Angelou, who can't love her? And for those who know me well enough, I love poetry so much. But I want to leave you with this quote from Maya. The problem I have with haters is that they see my glory, but they don't know my story. Okay? Be proud of your story. You've made it this far. For every $1 earned in a household in Africa, we feed 7.1 mouths. Okay? So own your story. Do your thing. In closing, that program that I wanted to announce next year, we're going to run a program with MIC. 4 female founders. Please make sure you apply. I think I'm more nervous than the founders because it's guaranteed investment. And I'm not talking 100,000 rands or so. I'm talking millions. Guaranteed investment. So make sure, so the selection process will be rigorous. It will almost be a little bit of a DD because we need to know those who we choose are going to get guaranteed investment. But thank you for being here. You are freaking all wonderful. And then can the men in the room stand up, please? Yeah. If you don't mind. Please do. Can we give them a woo? Thank you. Thank you for being who you are. And that's me.
Can I steal the microphone?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Technology is truly evolving. I love this. It's so brilliant. But I love that you're sitting there, Catherine, because we're going to need you for our fireside chats. So not too far. All right, so facilitating this conversation is Noni, right there at the back. She's the program director at Grindstone, managing an all-woman accelerator program, Grindstone X. Catherine, if you can make your way back here, please. Surprise. And please also spread some love for Leanne Cape. With over 2 decades at the helm of business expansion across Africa, Europe, and the USA, her forte has been harmonizing markets with the evolution of software development. She's the founder and CEO of Quasar. I said it correct, right? Yay! Yes, yes.
I don't know exactly what that.
Okay. I don't know how you're going to manage. Okay,
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, we'll manage, all right? Last but definitely not least, we've got Nontokozo Nyoni, the founder and managing director of Inkanyezi Marketing Communications and Promotions, with 16 years experience in entrepreneurship, as well as managing and developing the small business. If she too can please make her way up. Okay. Who wants to wear this?
Yeah.
Okay, can someone else hold this up?
Very new tech. It's very impressive. Oh, you've got fine motor skills.
So
It's the nails that fascinate me. It's like,
yeah.
how can you do anything?
Just make sure this is not red, because then it's mute.
Huh?
Okay. Thank you. Technology.
Yes,
It's amazing.
I'm in the tech space.
Okay, well, hi, ladies. Is it on? Yes. Okay. Because I don't know either. But yeah, hi, ladies, and thank you so much for joining me on today's panel. Yeah, I think the energy in the room is really great. I'm quite excited to have this conversation with you all. But before we start, if we could just maybe introduce yourselves. I know, Catherine, you've sort of already gone into it, but you could maybe give a one-liner about what you want to share at this panel, what you're looking forward to on this fireside chat. But we will, yeah, if we could just have a round of intros, just sharing, you know, who you are, where you're from, and yeah, what you're looking forward to in this conversation.
Me, thanks. Okay. Let me pass the parcel here. So my name's Leanne Cape. I have been in my own business, I don't know why, from the age of 19. There was no money then. I'm just about 50 as well, a little older. Also need those glasses. It's a thing. It's a thing, you do, seriously. Started my first tech company when I was 24, and there was no woman, there was no money, there was no VC. VC didn't no, nothing like that. So we bootstrapped, learned the hard way, did an exit about 4 years later, got addicted to startups, kept staying in my own business, started another software company which we exited, and we did a lot of enterprise stuff. So you guys do the sexy sort of B2C, B2B kind of stuff. We do the B2E, the long sales stuff. And then did exit a couple of years ago, and then started another one, you know, because it's called Addicted to Startup Tech. And that's the thing about getting started. I mean, I've always run we've also got a design agency which we run in parallel to the software company, which has always been an interesting convergence of design and technology, which you see in UI and UX now. Having that unique combination is great. So we do some InsurTech stuff in Africa and Europe and the US, so that's my story. Lots of scars. And vulnerability is important.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Leanne, and great to meet you and having you on this panel as well. Nonto, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody.
It's on.
I'm going to speak.
It does
Yeah,
feel
I'm just-
weird, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nontogo Zonyoni. I'm the founder of Inkanyezi Marketing Communications and Promotions. I started my journey. My journey started in 2007. I started a business by fluke, literally by fluke. No business plan, and I just fell in love with this thing called business, running your own business and being your own master of your own destiny, you know. 16 years later, I can stand here and be proud of myself, of what I've achieved in those 16 years of running my own business. We started off as an events and marketing company because as my experience in the corporate space, which was in retail buying, marketing, advertising, I kind of like immediately went into my comfort zone. But I'm one of those people that gets challenged. I want to know, I want to learn. If I'm not learning, I think I would die. I think probably, even when I'm dead, I think the termites, be careful out there. Because I want to learn how you want to feed off my skin. Then I make sure that I come and feed off your skin too. And I think this passion for learning and growing and development is something that has really led me to where my journey ended up. From an events business, and I'm very much right now, I decided in 2016, 2017, decided to embark on my MBA journey. I don't have a degree, and most of us sometimes we use this challenges to say, I don't have this, so therefore I cannot do A, B, C, D. I went and decided that, start of my MBA journey, ended in 2019, when my professor, I'll never forget her, she asked me to go out and teach entrepreneurs in the Eastern Cape, and I said, what is that? I'm not here. I thought maybe after that, I'm going to put a CV together and get back to the corporate space. But guess what? My journey evolved into the entrepreneurship space. Now I mentor, I facilitate, I lecture, and in marketing, digital marketing, customer management, and my passion lies in the space. And for all of you that are here, well done for being here. You are the future. We are not putting your CVs together. You are driving the economy for generations to come. And from that space, this is where my journey has led me to now. This is where I'm at.
Oh, thank you so much. I think, yeah, I'm really inspired and a little bit intimidated by you ladies. You're doing such amazing work, also as founders, but also enabling a different space as well and a different sort of trajectory for women out there as well as other entrepreneurs. So we know, there are a number of women entrepreneurs across Africa. I think we make up the largest population of women entrepreneurs in this continent, actually. And unfortunately, the support is not necessarily directed here. And so, with the support that you've been giving other entrepreneurs, younger entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, but also being a founder yourself, I'd love to just get a sense of some of the challenges that you've seen and how you are sort of creating solutions to fix those challenges. So, Nonto, I think I'll start with you, particularly with your work around sort of supporting the township economy as well.
Yeah. I think one of the key challenges that we face as entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurial space is access to markets. And I think that is something that a lot of us, even for us, even for me as a business that's been here for the past 16 years, one of this thing about access to markets, access to corporates, whether it's the corporate space or whatever the case may be, is one of the key challenges. But one thing that I would really want to encourage all of you starting up your own business is that don't let that detract you from what your journey is. One of the key things that I've learned, I'm an extrovert. I get out there and I connect and I pick up the phone. If I don't know something, I pick up the phone. I'm not afraid of not knowing where I'm going to. And I'm not afraid to ask the question. Never, ever, ever think that, oh, this is a stupid question. Because you don't know who is sitting with the answer. And then being vulnerable, you need to open up yourselves to these opportunities by asking people for help and asking for assistance and guidance. And through your networks is one of your biggest opportunities that you can find out there. From here, all of us, go out and network with the people that you don't know. And in a different industry, because with our different energies and our different experiences, different backgrounds, that is where the key learning comes from. If you're going to network with the same like-minded people, believe you me, you are going to die slowly. I kid you not. Go out and open up yourselves to those networking opportunities. And part of that is being able to say no. When you don't have the time in the day, there's only 24 hours the last time I checked in our time in the clock. Learn to say no, especially to stuff that does not add value to yourself or to the other person. Say no. You're better off saying no than saying yes and delivering a mediocre a project or whatever it is, because people are going to remember you for that, excuse my language, the crappy job that you have delivered at that particular time. So learn to say no. And there's nothing wrong. So you know what? I actually cannot do this right now. So please, can you pass it on? Maybe someone else can do it better than you do. Say no. And then the rest of the stuff is, I always say, be good to the people that you meet, because you never know when next you meet them. I have got from that, I've got a beautiful story. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my ex-boss who retrenched me back in 16 years ago. He's the one that I bumped into at a coffee shop. He's now moved into Cape Town. I bumped into him at a coffee shop and I said, I recognize that person. Yes, despite the fact that he's lost a bit of hair, but I could remember that voice. And I reached out to him. I said, what are you doing here? He says, what are you doing here? I said, well, I'm an entrepreneur. What are you doing here? He says, well, I'm in this space. And then the next thing is, he introduced me to the different networks. I work now with the Think Room, but at the same time, I also do have my own space. I work a lot with entrepreneurs in the township. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of help that the entrepreneurs in the township, sometimes I think we forget about them. We need to bring them back into this ecosystem and make sure that we reach out to those entrepreneurs in the township and take them on this journey and make sure that we change those numbers that she was sharing to say, especially the woman-owned businesses, but also the male-owned businesses out in the township economy. There's a lot of opportunities out there, so we need to be able to actually get out and be able to make sure that we bring them on board and walk this journey with them, because otherwise we're not going to be doing much justice amongst ourselves. And that is really one of the key things that I would like to just go out there and share with everybody. Let's work together. We owe it to ourselves and our generations to come to make sure that we make this world a better place by supporting the others that don't have as much as we have.
Definitely. No, I agree completely, and thank you. So, if you want to clap, clap. I saw the clap, so they're a little bit shy there, but as Nonto said, take up the space. Clap if you want to clap. But yeah, thank you so much, Nonto, and those are some really valuable lessons, and I really appreciate as well just how it's really just around, stop second-guessing yourself, and really just creating that space as well for sort of an equitable sort of future as well. And I think, Leanne, I'd love to find out as well, just in your sense, how you see this ecosystem becoming more equitable and a lot more safer for women entrepreneurs as well, particularly as a founder yourself.
Yeah, I think that it's only you that makes it safe. It's only you that makes it unsafe as well. It's how you show up. It's the world in which you create. It's interesting that you talk about the entrepreneurs. We did a project a couple of years ago in Ghana. It was called Akuma, and it's Akuma's heartbeat. And it was designed around the SMEs. But SMEs in Ghana are pretty much like our micro entrepreneurs, the guys that sell, tomatoes at the street corner. And 86% of the economy was women putting food on their table. So as much as we talk as startup founders, and it's great to see the all the graduations in development, there are a lot of women founders in Africa. There's a lot of women that put a lot of food on a lot of tables. No offense, guys, but it happens. So kudos to the power of the woman, which you are part of, and part of that ecosystem. And I look at men a little differently in that I see the male-female energy in both the man and in the woman, making it possible and giving permission. So embrace that. I have a slightly different view on the world in that I think it's really important when you venture on this journey that you understand it is going to get tough. Don't live in this illusion that it's going to be glamorous. There are going to be long nights. There are going to be long years. Okay? It is not pretty. And it takes a lot longer than you think. So when you start, and maybe there's a little bit of a realism, and don't want to bring the energy down, it's great, but actually I saw Elon Musk quote, he was quoting a mate of his, and he said, running a business or being an entrepreneur is like standing on the edge of the abyss eating glass. And the reason why is because but every single day as an entrepreneur, you're faced with the next decision you make will make or break a business. And eating glass, you don't get to see the nice stuff. You get to see the problems that no one else can deal with in your business. So just be prepared for the long haul. And that's, I guess, in some ways, I haven't given birth to a child. I do have a son, but I haven't given birth to him. But I think that's what prepares women for being an entrepreneur. It's tough. And pick yourself up and keep going. But yeah, just never underestimate. If you're thinking that being an entrepreneur is going to be easy, don't start this journey, okay? Find your true passion, because it's going to call for deep well of power, okay? You've spoken about the networks. I think also there is power in bootstrap, especially initially, because you learn, you prove points, you prove to yourself, gives you self-confidence to walk into that room and go, yeah, I got this, okay? When you're starting from everyone starts at different levels and you've got different types of startups, but try that for a while.
it gives you massive lessons. And it makes you feel confident when you start and you go, actually, I can ask you for $4 or $5 million, which I'm going to ask you for just now. Yeah, those are my insights. Well,
Thank you, Leanne. Yes.
I'll pass back to you.
Thank you, Leanne. Yeah, I really appreciate as well that vulnerability and honesty. And I think, yeah, Catherine, I'll move on to you. Having worked with so many founders, and you touched on Grindstone X earlier, what I'd love to hear from you is just for the entrepreneurs in the room, what have the successful women businesses done differently that has made them successful that you've seen?
I actually love that question. And for a change, I didn't want to see the question. No, honestly, because you know how these panels work. You get the questions before the time and you prepare. And I didn't want to today. I wanted to just come, to family. And I love the question. Do you know that when we sit in these IC meetings, let's go a couple of steps back. So a quick 101 on how the investment process works on our side. For those who don't know, 30-second 101. You apply in some form or fashion. The worst thing to do is to send the VC an email, because that's just, there are too many emails. We always feel so bad because we don't get to respond to emails because you're just in overwhelm, right? So you find the link on the website. You read the mandate. What is it that they will invest in? Which are the industries? Blah, 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 blah. If you have a mandate fit in your mind, because you will feel offended sometimes when you get a no, but they're only in green tech and you're not a green tech business. Do you know what I mean? So you check the mandate fit. Once the mandate fits there, the application goes firstly to the screener. There is an analyst who looks at the application, and that analyst must come into a meeting called the deal flow meeting. I'm just using our word. It could be called anything, but it's the first meeting. So you need to be convincing enough to be able to get the analyst, because that's the first filter, right? To accept that you fit mandate and to make sure that you're clear enough, because it's that analyst's reputation in the Monday meeting when they present to the rest of the team on whether that application goes through to step 2. Okay. If it goes through to step 2, then a light DD, and depending on which funder you work with, there's another deal flow meeting and a heavy DD. So what do we see? I kid you not. Female applications, and I'm generalizing, but it's probably an 85% of the time, female applicants undersell themselves. I don't, but do you get that?
I know, yes.
But this is a serious problem, right? So as an example, they will give their projected revenues, okay, and then think, oh shucks, maybe we won't meet this, and discount that by 20 to 30%. Granted, right? We get that. If you do that, and that's your low case, we get that. But the point is that the males will overinflate by 30.
Yeah.
So I'm not making this up.
Very true.
So you are competing in a VC space with numbers, okay? So the returns look very gloomy, right? So that's the one thing that we see a lot when there's applications coming through. And then you do get the other side, the other 15% who don't do that. So I'm not saying be unrealistic with your numbers. I'm just saying be positive about your numbers.
Yeah.
So you can drive it. We see how females drive their revenues. The other 15% who do inflate the numbers, they get away with it, and that's the other side of this continuum. You can only get away so long, because then it catches up. So it's a very fine balance, but be bolder in your applications. I think that's the one big thing, Noni, that I can.
No, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And I think, it goes with the messaging that we've been giving now. And I think we've continuously said it just around, being confident in yourself, being honest with, your capabilities as well, and not doubting yourself. So I think I love that you sort of reiterated that point as well. But Catherine, I think just to come back to you as well, as an investor, as a founder, as a, female entrepreneur as well, You've been in a lot of spaces where we've had, you know, conversations with governments, we've had conversations with corporates, we've had conversations with other ecosystem builders and enablers that are working towards supporting women entrepreneurs. And I'd love to get your perspective on what you think we can do better for the ecosystem players in the room as well, on collaborating for, you know, a brighter sort of, easier future for the woman or female entrepreneurship trajectory.
Yeah. Okay, so we were actually just this week, we were in a meeting with just the ecosystem in general, and just talking about this exact question. And we were doing a little bit of soul searching and say, what is it that we're doing wrong? Because we're trying hard, we're working hard, we really are trying and have the best intentions, but what is it? So let me give you some perspective. As you, as startups, are in the current economic environment battling to raise, and as you as startups in the current economic environment are battling to get go-to-market opportunities, so are we as funds and accelerator programs, right? There's a general funding issue. So what we've discovered at the end of that meeting on Monday or Tuesday was that we have to collaborate more, and like with Alex, we work with Savant. As ecosystem players, we have to collaborate more because we're realizing that as startups, you jump from program to program to program because you just need the opportunities, right? But then we teach you the same thing every time, and you have to spend the same time every time. So there's a real desire as an ecosystem to get much more sophisticated and eloquent with doing that. And in closing on that, because I can say so much about it, but there's no time. In closing on that, that does not mean you need to learn things. It depends on the life stage of your business. But we want to try and get the continuum smoother for the South African ecosystem so that we know if this organization covered fundamentals, the next organization doesn't have to. So we pass the baton on, because we're doing that in funding in little bits. So from an angel through to a seed, through to a post-seed, we pass the baton on, and that's starting to work. So we are committing to do that over the next year. Noni, really, we want to do that.
Perfect. No, I love that. And I think, that's a conversation we've had quite a bit with entrepreneurs saying, you know, they've been mentored out or workshopped out or, you know, programmed out,
Exactly.
but are underfunded. And Leanne, I think, as a seasoned founder as well, and I heard you sort of agreeing and nodding through all of that, would love to get your, just your views on just, you know, the support that is given, number one, by the ecosystem, but also how that's maybe tested your resilience and had to push you a little bit further in knocking on doors or learning lessons that you could maybe share here.
Look, I think that at some point you've got to stop learning and start doing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only so much learning you can do, and I think
Exactly.
that, to your point, it's a very good thing that the ecosystem's picked that up, because you literally see these guys that are it's like serial kids that spent 20 years at university. At some point, you've got to put your art into practice. So that's great to hear that the system's working. And I think also, just as an observation, I think there's sometimes a fear around but I'm not good enough or big enough or relevant enough for a VC. And what does the VC really mean? And what does the seed really mean? Where are we at in pre-seed or Series A funding or Series B funding? And I think there's a bit of nomenclature to just kind of even that out, I think is important, because we've all spoken about confidence and believability. So it's almost like, and I remember this going back 20 years, used to talk about tech. My business partner was a UCT professor. And we used to have the saying, where there's mystery, there's margin. So we used to talk about these really big technology words. Oh, enterprise distributed computing. No one knew what the hell we were talking about. Least of all us. But we could charge a lot for it. And that's the sense a little bit around the VC ecosystem. It sometimes does feel, and sorry, I'm taking a dig here, but it does sometimes feel like a little bit of an echo chamber. Outside looking in. So I think making it more accessible from just a language perspective, guys, this is not a bank looking to beat you over the head, but this is how you go about it, and as you say, taking it out of the learning stage. I think also just do it. Because you're going to get rejected. Okay, you're going to get rejected a lot. But what it does every time is you go, how do I tighten up my narrative? And that's something I do want to mention. I think you'll appreciate this. Get your narrative right. And you know, they talk about the elevator pitch. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made right back then was I couldn't describe my business in literally one sentence, and the value you create. Not what you do, not even how you do it, and this is Simon Sinek, I know, but why you do it, but that aligns to your purpose, and that should align to the value that you're creating for your clients and for the environment. So start there. If you can get me in one sentence, makes the process easier. So yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. And I think I'd love to open up for questions from the people in the room. So do we have time? No need for, okay, cool. But before we do that, can I just get each one of you on the panel just to give advice to the ladies in the room and on just their journey moving forward? One piece of advice that you could give right now, what would that be?
I think for me, the one thing that I'm very passionate about is access to knowledge. The one thing that I do on a day-to-day basis, other people think I don't know what I'm smoking when I sleep or whatever the case may be. But when I get up in the morning, the first thing that I do is I just put it on Google or search whatever search engine that you use, top stories for the day, just to find out what are those trends that can impact your organization or your business, or what is happening in the space that you operate in. Because if you're going to operate in a cocoon thinking that, oh, I'm in this butterfly and I'm not going to fly anywhere, you are not going to get anywhere. You need to understand what is going on and what is that, whatever is happening out in the global space or in the local space, how can that impact my organization, whether positively or negatively, and be able to do something about it. We know what happened with COVID. Some of us were caught with our pants down. But COVID had been happening since 2019 out in China, and we thought it will never get to our shores. And when it did, it hit us so bad that we had no idea how to navigate the space. So all I really want to say here is, find that 5 minutes before, as you're making that cup of coffee. Some of us are born with these gadgets on the palms of our fingers. What is the top stories, either from a global perspective or from a local perspective, and ask yourself, how will this impact my organization? And how can I navigate this day? And after that, the rest becomes, the world becomes your oyster, because you know exactly what it is that is happening and how, as you're driving to the office or you get into your next meeting, you know how to navigate that particular space. But if you don't read, ladies and gents, you are just going to be killing yourself and also killing your own business, because you're going to miss just that small thing that could make a big difference or big impact positively or negatively in your business, and you being able to find a way to navigate around that. So please, just read. Just make sure that you've got that access to information. And of course, and be aware of the social media platforms as well that also distribute incorrect information. Find that credible source of information that you rely on for the correct, credible, rather than some of the social media platforms whereby there's a lot of information that is actually being, incorrect information being distributed about what's going on in the world around you. So yeah, that's really what I would really encourage everybody in the room to do.
Mine is simple. Take a and know you're it. You've got it. It's yours. Let's go fetch it.
Love that. So my one piece of advice would be, see every no as a not yet. That's it. Don't give up. Go back next month. Go back. And then if that's a no, it's a not yet.
Yeah.
I live my life like that. Yeah. And there's so many yeses now, you know.
I love that. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I think we can just take maybe one question on each side. Or, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Sorry.
Hi everyone. This is actually very weird.
It is.
It's so big. I don't know if you can hear me or. So thank you so much to every woman that was on the panel today. I think all of the advice was absolutely amazing. And it's not necessarily a question, but rather it's so easy to resonate with a lot of what you said, especially when it comes to grit and the nose and not giving up. And bootstrapping is, I would say it's been a win, even though it's been the most horrific 2 years of the startup journey for me. It's been 2 years that I've learned to pivot, that has made my business better. And I've taken every no to be like, it is not yet. And maybe not for this specific individual, but it is going to be for someone. So as much as it might be challenging to accept those no's, and it's hard, it's sometimes crippling to wake up in the morning, I think just looking up to women like you and saying, so this is normal. That makes me feel better. Okay, great. I'm gonna be 30. This means I'm okay. I'm on the right track. So thank you so much for today, and really just a privilege to be able to associate with such amazing women as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sirisha. We have another question there. Oh, okay. More.
There's more.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nziki. I run a business called Mentor. We're a global mentorship network that supports female social entrepreneurs. Thanks for saying you had a kakia. It's been a very kakia. I wanted to find out from you ladies, because I imagine consistently, I'm thinking maybe, you found yourself way ahead of the curve, and then everyone else caught up sometime later. What do you do in those seasons of your life and business when the thing you're doing is much further ahead than the market or the investors or the customer or the country even, but you can see it?
I'm going to give it a first shot because I'm so
Do you
good
want?
too.
You can use
It's called we used to joke, it's bleeding edge, leading edge, and then mainstream. I always find myself on the bleeding edge. So we get you, babe. You're not alone. And I think, again, it goes back to own that space, actually. Get your narrative right, make it simple, and just keep going. Because it gets a point where it's like a tipping point. It's like it'll take about 18 months to 2 years, generally, if you're in the bleeding edge for people to catch. And it hurts. But don't give up, because just as you get over the edge, everyone else is going to create the momentum, and you're ahead of them. But I completely feel your pain. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll take one last question.
Hi everyone, my name is Zandi Lentuli. I am from the Enriching Africa Center. We are a network of accelerators and incubators. We operate in Africa and in Europe. My question was prompted by Catherine. You said look at the markets, and we always encourage entrepreneurs to stick to their gut and follow what they're doing. What happens if the product you are selling or the service that you're giving to the market does not want? How does one identify that, and how does one identify strategies to pivot? Thank you.
Yeah, that is a very relevant question, and you will never find me lying. So I'm always very honest. Your first cut is your base cut, right? So meaning the only way you know you have product market fit is if people give you money for it. Truthfully. And we always try and encourage the entrepreneurs to pivot, and some people love the word, some people hate the word. We can call it any which way we want, but to change direction as quickly, as painlessly as possible, especially if you're so in love with the product or the service and people ain't buying, they ain't buying. The product market fit's not there. Do you know that the statistics on our side, 93% of successful startups pivot at least once? Yeah. And I promise you, that's not one of those statistics that I made up. It's real. I read it last night, actually. So, and you'll have to make pivot. You'll have to make a couple of pivots. Zulay, is it okay with you? Zulay is. I'm fascinated by Zulay's mind as an example, where she continuously assesses and pivots quicker rather than later. Sometimes the funders are angry, sometimes the staff is, but you have to pivot as quickly as possible. And how do you do that? Relentlessly seeking product market fit. Let them, when you know the first one is biting, you know that you can just refine the product. But until you're not there, you don't have it. I'm so sorry to give you the bad news. But the pivoting is important.
I call that this issue of innovate, renovate constantly. You need to constantly see what are those trends, what are the key drivers. Is my product, is there a market for my product? Even if you're passionate about it, sometimes you need to let go because the market isn't biting. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, as a business owner, you are there to serve or to service a market. So if it's not but why are you putting all this energy, long nights and bags under your eyes when the market is saying, we want A, and you're giving them B? So you need to go back and really understand. And one of the things that I teach as well on the entrepreneurship programs is understand your target market. Sometimes we create products because we love them. But what about the market? Who's your target market? If you don't understand who your target market is, you need to go back and have this conversation and ask them what is it that they're looking for, and make sure that you create products and services that your target market requires and needs at that specific time. Because otherwise you're just wasting people's monies and your energies, and eventually your energy will dip because you're chasing this dead horse. It doesn't want to get up, but you keep chasing it.
That's true, yeah.
I want to add 10 seconds. I want to add 10 seconds
Sure.
to this. We're raising for Grindstone Ventures, right? I mean, it's like the perfect story. 50% male, 50% female, 50% diversity. We reach the numbers. They're Grindstone alumni. They're doing darn well, right? I've had 88, and I'm getting to a point on this, I've had 88 pitches to 88 LPs, stroke DFIs. Of the 88, I got down to 60-something, I got down to 20-something, only 6 ended up talking, right? And from 88 to 6, I pivoted the approach, the deck, every single time. We just can't give up on it, but at one point it resonates. So keep on keeping on.
Keeping on, yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you for the questions as well. Yeah, I think this was a really sort of honest, candid panel, which was really great. And thank you as well for your vulnerability. And yeah, I'll hand back to you, MC. Thank you.
From one Noni to the other, that was such a beautiful conversation. Can you scream out some themes that probably stuck out to you from this conversation? Pivot. I really loved pivot. Anything else? Keep on keeping on. Love that one too. Another one. Confidence, confidence, confidence. Another one? That too? Okay. One last one? Not yet. Not yet. Another one that I picked up, and I think Nonto really reiterated it for us, was networking. So right now, we're going to take a 15-minute break. And in this room are investors, are founders, and ecosystem players. So please take this next 15 minutes to network, okay? Because somebody here is walking away with something, not just the friendship, maybe money. All right, 15 minutes, and then we'll be back for what we've all been waiting for, which is the pitches. So good luck to the founders. This I must still get used to. I'm not gonna like it. I don't know where I'm going to get it, but I need it. All good. Alrighty. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Good luck to all the founders. Just pitch, man. Pitch, don't be scared, and just do it. All right, so I've got this thing that I do when I introduce people, and some of you might recognize it from church or school. When you call someone's name and surname, and then you say shine. Okay, so if I say Noni Kumalo, you say? Shine. Exactly that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to be introducing our judges. So I'll say their name and their surname, and then you'll say? Shine. Exactly. Love it. Judges, the pressure is getting worse for you, so all the best, because I know that all the founders here are brilliant, and it's going to be a bit of a tough one. So as you go, just make sure that you're scoring. We will give you some time to deliberate and find out who your winner is, but just make sure that you take note of that as we go along. To all the founders pitching, please, you can hold this in one hand and your clicker in the other. Okay, just make sure that it's close enough, not too far down. Okay. Fabulous. Judge number 1 is Vuyani. Reggie. Love that. That's what I want. Judge for today, Dati. Urging African manager at Afritech Catholic Growth Fund and advisor to Startup Camp Afritech SBC. And then we also have Alexander Fraser, the CEO and founder of Viridian, an innovation agency that designs and delivers early-stage entrepreneur, hub and investor programs of research and strategy. And last but not least, help me welcome Steve Vey, an MBA candidate currently serving as an entrepreneur in residence at Savant Venture Fund. A huge round of applause for all our judges. Alrighty, okay, so founder number 1, I hope you're ready. Please welcome, and please a huge chant, okay, because they need all the energy, they need all the vibes, all the positive vibes when they get up. Pumi Kor, who built Where Own It Market. Today they have over 400 active sellers with 3,500 active listings. Please welcome her up. Remember, you've got 5 minutes to pitch. We will tell you when it's all up. Judges, you also have 5 minutes to ask your questions after. So make it count. Shine.
Big one advances, the little one goes backwards, and then that's the laser issue. That's the big one advances, yeah. There's your microphone.
Okay, I'm going to stand here. Hey, everyone. Shine? Yeah? Okay. Cool. My name is Pumi Kerber, and I run a resale fashion marketplace called WCOI. And WCOI stands for Wear It, Sell It, Own It. And we turn your closet into cash. So I love having this picture with a bunch of women because I know we all understand this problem, but 70% of an average woman's closet is. And I want every one of us who is sitting here, just think about how much of your own closets do you wear on a regular basis. Did you know that in 2022, South Africans spent $11 billion in clothing, and that's online and as well as offline. And the production of clothing has doubled worldwide over the past 20 years. However, the number of wears have gone down by 36%. What that means is people are buying more clothes, however, they're wearing them much more less. And we've got a whole lot of clothes that are in good quality that are sitting in circulation unworn. South Africans have discarded, in an urban household, they discard about 13 kilograms of clothing annually. We've got about, they discard about 9.7 billion kilograms of clothing. And if you think about how much it gets produced, it's all in good quality, most of it. The market is valued at just over $500 million, and it's projected to grow by 50% by 2026 in South Africa. WCI is a seamless platform that allows buyers or sellers to onboard their pre-loved clothes onto the platform, and buyers can find their favorite brand that are pre-loved on the platform. We're also building a community that is changing the way that we consume fashion by extending the life of a garment. Our business model, we collect 25% of commission for every transaction. I'm quickly going to skim through these numbers, but traction-wise, we've done sales for 22.6. We've got 3.5 listings active currently, and over 400 active sellers. We raised, this year we raised 100K, and that's where I want to dwell. This year we raised 100K from Grindstone Naspers Labs, which has helped to build the platform that we launched on Monday. 2 a.m. we launched this on Monday, which is a video-driven, the first in South Africa, a video-driven resale fashion platform where you can upload your videos and show off your clothes. So think about it as TikTok, but with the checkout button. And I really, you can go through all the features, but what I do want to share is we launched this on Monday at 2 a.m. And we've had an upload of just below 200 products, and we're projecting that by end of November, we would have had 1,000 uploaded on the platform. And the reason why I'm telling you that number is if you think about my previous slide, we had 3,500 that we did in 2 years. So we would have already done 30% in 1 month with the new platform. Our team is me, my co-founder, and we also have a technical co-founder. We have a marketplace advisory, as well as our head of marketing. We are raising 350K in US dollars, and for that, we are looking to grow our tech and bring support to our technology. We're looking at growing our sales and marketing, and onboarding critical skills onto the platform. Basically, 2023, we've already taken that platform, go live. We are busy with our commission structure, and we are projecting a revenue growth of 200%. We're currently at 91% on current financial year. We're also doing some cool stuff, including some AI premium listings, and we're also building the technology as a SaaS model. We have gotten a number of recognitions. One of them was Best Market Fit in Africa. We also were nominated for a Sustainability Award. We were part of the Grindstone program, obviously, and we won this year's Africa Arena Femtech Challenge. And that's it. Let's connect.
20 seconds left, judges. Move to you.
Yes.
I'm going to be kind, because I could see you skip over. Who are your competitors?
Yeah, so I can actually go back there. Jeez. How do I? Oh. Thank you. So we've got 3 major competitors, which is Facebook Marketplace, Bob Shop, which is previously BidderBuy, as well as Yaga. And the biggest difference is obviously the video upload, which I didn't talk enough about, but the fact that we have video is something very unique for South Africa when it comes to that resale fashion resale space. We also have a multi-vendor checkout, which means currently, pretty much like with Uber, you can't check out two restaurants at the same time, and all the platforms, they don't have that ability. With WeCRI, you can check out as many stores as you want in a single transaction. And we also have multi-item checkouts, which our competitors generally don't, which that means you can't buy more than one product from one person at a time. You kind of have to stagger it up, and with WeCRI, we do.
So sorry, question from my side. Hello. The 350K US, what is that going to accomplish? So you did the distribution, but what is your sort of goal to get you to that sort of next inflection point?
Yeah, so, oh wait, I'm going backward. So the biggest one is to really give support to this guy, who is our technical co-founder, and is to build our tech stack. And the next one, so it's to build our tech team, and our product is technology, you know, and the buyer and sellers, they facilitate the close, and we just facilitate the transaction. And for us to be able to reach all those milestones, we kind of need quite a lot of help. He single-handedly built the platform that we launched on Monday, and in order for us to be able to scale properly, we need that technical solution. As well as to this lady, so that we can be able to take that platform to markets and accelerate it quite fast. Those are the two biggest ones that we're looking at. Yeah.
Just a question on my side. Can you guys hear me? Cool. Is there a reason why you felt the need to build a whole new video platform?
Yeah.
Why not integrate to an Instagram or a TikTok and actually get people to start selling with an audience that's already existing and that they're already communicating with?
So we, before we even got here, we were using APIs. So I think from a business point of view, we had capped an API's functionality. And the reason why we couldn't integrate also with social medias is because of the whole payments. We've got checkout, whereas the social media platforms do not. And we facilitate the checkout process. And there's also the shipping process as well that is integrated into our platform. So we kind of needed to own the sign-up process, the checkout process, as well as the shipping process, as well as the payment process. That's all integrated, whereas it's a bit fragmented if we have to do it via social media as well as API. Well, the API as well. Did I understand your question correctly?
I get it, and it kind of makes sense, but I guess being in the space, I kind of like seeing certain like solutions to your current problem. Right?
Yeah.
And it seems counterintuitive to me that you went and build a whole like solution when what you're solving for can be like a layer to existing platforms, right? Like your users already have Instagram, they have an audience. There's businesses that can help with payments, integration and whatnot, right? And I'm guessing your value is that you understand your users and you're marketing exactly what they need in order to sell their clothes on the platform. So just from a technical standpoint, it just feels like you chose the road that was more difficult than it needed to be, all right? But that's just me, so I just wanted to get that understanding. And then from a growth perspective, just given that, right, you said it took you 2 years to get about $22,000 in revenues.
Yes.
And your new platform has like made more revenue now. What has been the biggest difference between the 2 years to get to that number versus what your current growth rate is now?
Yeah, so the new platform has been live for 5 days, so we only launched it on Monday. But I think the biggest difference was the upload speed. So with the API that we're using, is what we were seeing a whole lot of really high signups, but low upload rates. So people were signing up, but they were getting stuck somewhere, and they never put their clothes on the platform. With this, it's just because it was so clunky. So there was too much information that was needed, and we didn't own the API. And for us to develop, we did a bit of development, but for us to invest even more money on a technology that we don't own, it was quite a loss of money. So it was more from what we can see currently is we're seeing a much higher speed or rate of uploading than we did with our previous one.
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble quickly.
So based on that, right, what is the time from uploading to actually selling? Like what is the average time to get your users to that aha moment, in essence?
Just say that again. So from the time it's live until it's sold, is that the question?
On average. I know it's like 5 days old.
Yeah, that's very difficult. So I think with the old platform, we were looking at between 14 to 21 days of sale, but it really depends on what it is. You know, a branded item would sell a bit more quicker than a Mr. Price item, for example. So it really depends on if it's a highly sought after item. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Up next we have Zile Friedman.
this way. Yeah? Good. Good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to see you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting startups, women in tech. That is why we're all here, to make that a better space for everybody. Locumbase, we are the software as a service platform that connects freelance medical professionals with healthcare facilities on a seamless platform marketplace, simplifying the team management process. I'm having an issue with the clicker. There we go. Now, the problem in the medical space, or well, there's many problems, but one big one is the in-between your facility and your patient. Now, when a hospital or a private practice requires more hands and more bodies to serve the demand of patients that comes through the door, they generally go to placement agencies or labor brokers, which is a whole lot of admin. They charge high fees. They don't treat locums very well. It just takes so much time, so much back and forth communication. Now, we've created a platform where you can connect directly with medical professionals. A medical professional creates a profile with all the information needed, main one being their rates and their availability. One of the big problems is having to phone somebody up and find out, hey, are you available? And they go, oh, no, sorry. Okay, next one on the list. Hey, are you available? No, sorry. By the time you find somebody, it's been 2 hours and nobody said yes yet. Everybody's saying, I'll get back to you. Now you're desperate. So now you go a non-safe, non-secure route of asking your colleagues, friends, college roommates, cousins to come and locum at your Optom practice, but you don't know where they're from. Now, with Locumbase, we verify every practitioner. We make sure that they are legally allowed to practice, that their CPD is up to date, so that you know who you see on their profile picture. The person that comes through the door is who you ordered. Now, when we look at the South African medical market alone, public hospitals spend about 2.5 billion rand every year on placement agencies, which is ridiculous. Now, about 40% of nurses who work in hospitals, private and public sector, are temp nurses, are locum nurses. Now, we need to find a better way to not only secure work for them, but empower them to take control of their skilled hours. We also need to empower businesses to optimize the business of healthcare. Medical skills, care skills need to be distributed. We do not have enough medical professionals in this country, in Africa, in the world. We all saw the problem with, we all know. When we look at a big hospital, this is a South African big hospital that spends about 400 million rand a month on nursing salaries. Now, 60% of that is to permanent staff and 40% of that is to locum staff. So how do we lessen that? We have created a product as a growth off of Locumbase, not necessarily a pivot, but an expanded direction that we call Scheduflex, which is specifically made for hospitals, versus Locumbase.com that it was specifically made for the private practice sector, that is your private GPs, your Optom, your pharmacies, across the whole nursing association, or nursing councils, the health professions councils, and the pharmacy councils can register on the platform. So now for hospitals, we can help them save a ton of money on their agency fees and on their actual wages of nursing fees. With our system, our goal is a very short one of just getting your permanent staff to do a little bit more of the work with smart rostering, smart flexing of their skills between locations and between wards. Now, along with our Scheduflex product, we have also developed Locumbase in such a way that it is easily customizable, easily white labelable. What we call Flex Customs, we have created Locumbase Vets, which is specifically vet-based for South Africa. We are working in partnership with our African expansion with Good Life Pharmacy and created Locumbase Kenya for the Kenya market as a demo to start expanding there. We've secured partnerships and we're very excited where our African expansion is going. Ultimately, Locumbase.com is a central showcase for nursing professionals, allied health professionals, and pharmacy professionals, where private and public hospitals can have access to them. Corporates and franchise groups can have access to them. And also, again, white labeling the system for internal organizations. It's customizable. Yeah, these are cool features. Here's some of our growth. That product market fit, we definitely got that last year, and we saw exceptional growth. Here's some of our amazing team that made a lot of that growth happen. Yeah, shine, shine. So what does the future look like? Well, the future looks bright. We are expanding across healthcare in SA, and we are expanding into other African regions, East Africa being a big focus, and also the UK. We're excited about international business because for all the time we spend to earn a rand, we can earn a pound, and that is what we want to do. And we want to bring those pounds back to here so that we can help our healthcare professionals do things better. So we are set for growth, and who wants to grow with us? We are heading into Africa, we're heading international. We are currently in the tail end of a 10 million rand round that we're doing. We still need to secure 2.5 million rand of that round, and that is why we're talking to you. Who wouldn't like to work with these investors and partners that we have? Grindstone Ventures, yeah, see you, we see you. Yeah, there was a slight one. Our competitors are your traditional agencies, your Employer, your SA Locums, your, some of your AdCorp companies, Charisma. Traditional, slow, let's fax you a form, please fill out this piece of paper for a timesheet. Slow, expensive, double dips on the fees. Takes money from nurses, takes money from agencies. There's a big moral fight that we are having, and a big moral soldiers for this, because our nurses are some of the most hard-working people who has the shittest job. Sorry for my passionate description. And we needed to find a way to make the playing ground fair. We needed to find a way where individuals are empowered, not just your nurses, your optoms, we started, and I was a medical side, very unique perspective of seeing how how agencies are see glasses, right? And that's where that the pain point was for her, and the way that she was. On the other side, I went to practice after practice after practice, studying stuff from the first business I started, and they would ask me, can you locum? And I'm like, I'm not an optom. You don't want me to locum, or I'm not a pharmacist. And I saw the frustration from their side. People love moaning to you when you ask the right questions, and they love telling you stuff if you just ask. And I had a very interesting perspective from both sides. I ask a lot of questions, and I intend to find out a lot of pain points from people, and that is why we started it. So, agencies, labor brokers, not cool.
Can you just expand and just simplify how your business model actually works? Because I don't think I got a clear understanding of how you make your money in essence.
Right. The locumbase.com platform, the open marketplace, consists of a two-folded membership. On the one side, it is practices who are on the pay-as-you-book subscription, where every time they book a locum, there's a facilitation fee, a 10% facilitation fee due. We are 100% transparent about our pricing. Locums have their rates on their profile so that when you book a locum, you know exactly what that guy's going to put in his pocket, which is unheard of in the industry. We then charge a facility fee on top of that. The second option for practices is to have a subscription, 450 Rand a month. Their facilitation fee drops by half. And there's a level of support that's a bit more in-depth for them. On the customization side, there is, and the ScheduFlex side, we do a implementation setup and onboarding fee, training fee, a once-off, and then a monthly licensing. And any custom features, specific features that's unique to your organization, that's a general custom by the hour development fee.
How do you source your talent in this instance? And how do you assure the quality of you know, the locums that you source? Do you have quality control measures in place? How do you identify and find the right for a particular practice, in essence, right? And how do you balance the top earners, in essence, with those that aren't getting as much, or is there that kind of discrepancy in terms of talent? Yes.
Okay, there's a couple of questions in
Yeah,
that one.
sorry.
The first one, we currently have about 12,000 medical professionals across industries, across disciplines on the platform. Big sourcing of them is social media, newsletters in medical industry partnerships. The social media presence is really a big one for us. That constant brand recognition. People talk. That's a big thing for us. Quality of locums, our absolute minimum is a threefold check. We make sure we get your ID, we make sure you are who you say you are, we check your professional registration, that it's up to date, and that gets checked regularly. It's like we have a smart piece of tech that pulls information to make sure that you are not suspended, that you are not, there's no red marks against your name. And then, of course, we check where you studied, and if you did study where you say you studied, as that is connected to your registration. You will not believe the stuff that we see sometimes, and how medical professionals who are not medical professionals show up at practices. And Tanya, my partner, she would show up and go workplaces where nobody ever checked or asked her for a registration, and she just pitched up. Obviously, she's Tanya, and she was who she's supposed to be. But yeah, this happens, and those three elements. If somebody's registered with and up to date with their registrations, they are legally allowed to practice. We are also working in partnership with e-learning platforms to bring that element in, where organizations on the customized platforms or customized product bring in e-learning factors that's unique to their organization.
Thank you, Zile. That's time. Thank you so much, judges.
Nice
Yes,
one.
Sarisha Barat, you are up.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for having me. And it's incredible to just see so many powerful women in one room. So hi, Sarisha Barrett, CEO and founder of Lloyd Up. So your legal partner from startup to success, democratizing access to legal for small to medium enterprises as well as startups. So when we look at the economy, we're looking at how do you become, or how do you have a business that has corporate governance, and how are you able to then get financing from that? And that's what we're trying to target. So our target market is incubators, venture capitals, SMMEs, and startups. The problem here is high cost in legal services, the need for user-friendly tech, compliance and corporate governance, high unemployment rates, and GBV victims often lacking access to legal support. So people often ask me why the last one, and I find that every business should be able to give back. So every attorney on the platform has to give back 3 hours per week in order to work with us. It's part of our mandate. Our solution, so tech-driven legal services, customizable legal document creation, collaborative teamwork tools and notifications, as well as a vetted lawyer directory. So in terms of the technology that's utilized for the customizable legal document, that we're using deep learning as well as AI and natural language processing to automate and auto-populate the documents. And then to have a vetted lawyer directory, we have a checklist of what you need to go through in order to be on that directory. And that is a Fidelity Fund certificate as well as a sole practitioner. Currently, we have the web app where you're able to have different dashboards depending on who you are as a client. So venture capital, incubator and accelerator, as well as startup and SMME. And then for the startups and SMMEs, what we've done is we've did market research on what investors are looking for depending on your stage. So pre-seed, venture capital, as well as scale. What documents do you need from a corporate governance and legal perspective in these different stages? And we automated that process. But in every one of the documents, you are going to need an attorney, so additional consultation is needed, and that can be done based on your affordability and experience and expertise of an attorney that you're looking for. In Africa, 90% of businesses are SMMEs, 60 to 80% are creating job opportunities, and that brings us to 40% of the GDP. 70% of startups and SMMEs do not have access to legal, which puts them in a little bit of a situation of not getting funding. Because whenever you go for funding, they're asking you, well, do you have these specific legal documentation? Do you have proper corporate governance? And majority of the time, it's no. Competition, a lot of our competition is data-driven and a lot around document creation, but none that are looking at gender inclusivity, market research-driven, and user-friendly tech. Our business model is B2B2C, subscription-based, so incubators, accelerators, and VCs. So just a typical example would be we go to an accelerator that houses 2 cohorts a year. Each of those cohorts have 20 to 30 startups in them, and then they dedicate a specific amount of hours per month to the startup, and they pay us. So if we're looking at, let's call it 1,000 Rand for 10 hours, that startup gets to utilize 10 hours for whatever their need is in that specific cohort for that period. So just like you have your financial workshops, we're looking at having proper legal literacy workshops within these incubators and accelerators. White labeling the solution here, so different law firms can utilize our technology. Doesn't have to be called Lawyered Up. It will be licensed to them on a monthly and subscription base. And then 10% of whatever the lawyers make on the platform comes to us as well, and the outliers being SMMEs and startups. Right now, we have expanded into Kenya, Nigeria, and Botswana, also with venture capital firms where we've become their legal strategic partners. We've recently partnered with an AI company called Doc Insights, and instead of recreating the wheel, we rather partner with a specific startup. We're looking at raising $250,000, safe note, and target evaluation of $3 million. Majority of that will be going towards a resource. Our team and Tech for Good, which I believe that all of us should be looking at. Thank you.
Can you talk to us about your traction? So
yes.
how many customers do you have?
So in Kenya, we have 400 startups, and they pay us on a monthly basis. So we're working with a VC called Melanie Capital, and they pay us, for example, 2,300 Kenya shillings. It's not a lot in Rand, so that's equivalent to about 350 Rands times 400 clients. So each time they increase on who they're investing in, then they would then utilize us for those clients.
And you get 10% of that?
No, we get that. That's the whole amount.
That is your 10%?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 10% that we would get is from attorneys working with these different startups, but there's different revenue models. So 10% of just the lawyers, but I mean, if we're working directly with an incubator, for example, and they're paying us Cedar, so we've just closed with Cedar. So Cedar pays us 1,000 Rand for 10 hours for a startup. We then service that
1,000 Rand for 10 hours?
Per startup, per month, part of their incubation program.
1,000 Rand or 10,000 Rand?
So that's 1,000 Rand, but then if you have 10 startups, then that's 10,000 Rand. So each startup gets 10 hours for 1,000 Rand, and they can utilize that for whatever they need, be it vetting legal documents, drafting of legal documents, consultation, but their cap is 10 hours. Once they've reached that 10 hours, then they have to pay us additionally, but Cedar pays us directly, not the startup.
Cool, great, thank you. I'd just like to find out, just in terms of what your guys' value proposition is, like in terms of term sheets and that sort of stuff. It just seems like it's a template, and you also mentioned having to bring in a lawyer, an external lawyer as well. So what is sort of your guys' value proposition? So why would we come to you?
So different lawyers have different pricing. So if you are looking at affordability and you can only afford 800 Rand an hour, you'd be able to find a lawyer for 800 Rand. But if you're looking for an experienced lawyer, for example, because you're in scale or venture capital, then you can find one for 2,000 Rand an hour. But if you're in pre-seed and you really need to be, you need to look at your due diligence, then you can get someone for 800 to 1,000. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. And we have different lawyers servicing that specific region. So Kenya lawyers, Kenya region, Botswana lawyers, Botswana region. So we're not giving our South African lawyers to help in Kenya. So it's market related.
Okay, and sorry, the lawyers that come onto your system, do they pay you to be on the system, or do you just get that 10% of if they get hired?
If they get any money utilizing the platform, we'll get 10% of that.
Are you good?
Are we good?
I guess it's tied into the traction discussion, right? So I see your ask is 250 at a few million valuation, but what is your current like revenues and ARRs that you're currently doing? And based on your offerings, what is the current split between those services? So are you making most of your money from the incubators, venture capitalists, or the lawyers directly in terms of the marketplace?
So most of the money is coming from legal strategic partnerships. So making sure that the startups that a specific incubator might be investing in, for example, or has part of a program, that they are fully compliant by the end of that program. Because then what happens is you're part of this program, and then at the end you actually can't go look for investment because you're not investor ready. You don't have the proper legal literacy and knowledge that you should have. You don't have the proper documentation. So they are paying us to make sure that the startup is investor ready at the end of a specific program or invested into.
How scalable is that?
So
that's a lot of one-on-one time, and it's you lawyer it up who's doing the work.
So
it's not outsourced to other lawyers.
we have different lawyers in different regions. So in Kenya, we have lawyers. In Botswana, we have lawyers. In South Africa, we have lawyers. So different lawyers doing different things. And depending on their availability, startups can book via their calendar on their availability.
Okay. Yeah, there's more questions, but we're out of time. So.
Yeah, we have 20 seconds. So thanks, judges. You can ask a bit later. Thank you so much, Risha.
Thank you.
Next one,
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Pindan Jisane. I'm the co-founder of 4 Minute Medicine. So patients across Africa deserve better health care outcomes. In Africa, a 24% global disease burden is met by a shortage of healthcare workers. We have 3% of the global healthcare workers, and more specifically, we have a very low doctor to population ratio. We have about 0.2 doctors per 1,000 people. So it's not entirely surprising that, proportionally speaking, most of our doctors are general practitioners, as opposed to specialist doctors, as they are supposed to attend to a variety of clinical complaints across specialties and in different clinical environments. This includes casualty, clinics, and even the operating room for minor surgical procedures. They are also expected to teach when they're assigned students. Fortunately, there are plans to develop new medical schools on the continent to increase capacity to address this burden of disease. But given the shortage of doctors, who will teach at these new medical schools, and what will the curriculum look like? So our theory of change is that if we increase efficiencies in the current medical education environment, we can improve both the quality and the access to healthcare on the continent. Our solution is 4 Minute Medicine. So 4 Minute Medicine is an online medical education platform that supports blended and in the flow of work learning. We provide one-page clinical summaries and clinical approaches, short videos, and as well as short courses, all on a platform that encourages engagement through adaptive learning and gamification. For medical schools, we provide a turnkey solution for their online training needs, without each medical school being required to create duplicative learning materials. We help streamline the process of delivering curriculum, we boost learning, and we offer data-driven insights when it comes to student performance. For medical students, we provide high-yield clinical content in small digestible chunks. Effectively, we help them achieve medical mastery 1 minute at a time. The market is valued at about $3.3 billion of annual revenue, and over the next 5 years, we hope to capture a relatively small percentage of this, of about $31 million annually. And the reason for this is because of our limited content library. Our business model is primarily B2B, involving medical schools and training institutions, and our main revenue stream will be from subscriptions based on various tiers, starting at about $200 USD per user per year, and as well as course sales. Our main competitors are shown in the diagram here, but I just want to highlight the common ones, and that being UpToDate, Clinical Key, and Amboss. But what really sets us apart is that we have lived the problem. The content on our platform is contextually relevant to the resource-limited setting, it's time-saving, and we have a world-class training in medical education from Harvard Medical School. So where have we been and where are we going? We've completed various venture builder programs, which we've learned a lot from. We've also been collaborating with an orthopedic surgery department at the leading university in Africa, the University of Cape Town, in co-creating the orthopedic surgery content, which we have piloted, and the platform, we also piloted the platform with their students over the past few months. We also started our second phase of content production involving internal medicine and general surgery, and we hope to launch in early 2024. Our team includes myself, Dr. Pindan Jisane, and as well as Dr. Velan Jisane. We are twin sisters. We also, and we also both have degrees in medical education. Our team also includes Ashley Francis, who's a seasoned entrepreneur, and he also was the CFO of the University of Cape Town. Currently, our software development is outsourced to a software development agency based in Cape Town. So our ask today is for any funding opportunities, as we are trying to raise 270,000 USD specifically for content production and marketing, and any warm introductions to potential B2B partners and experts in this space. Thank you. We are 4 Minute Medicine. Join us in reimagining and reshaping how we educate the doctors of tomorrow. Thank you.
So I'd love to know what traction have you got on your platform, and then also in terms of, have you linked up your, I know your content isn't extensive yet, but have you linked it up to also CPD points, or is there a plan for that?
Sure. So when it comes to traction, currently, just as an overview, we're currently pre-revenue and at the pilot phase. We've been piloting at the University of Cape Town, specifically with the students in there going through their orthopedic surgery rotation. And what we've key learning during that piloting phase is when it comes to traction, where our biggest learning is that we can't prove stickiness because we only have orthopedic surgery content. And orthopedic surgery across the scheme of medicine is a relatively short rotation. It's about 4 weeks. So students, after they completed orthopedics, they don't come back. So that's about 100 students have used our platforms to date, specifically mostly at UCT, but some also at Stellenbosch as well. But we hope to launch next year. And then sorry, your second part of your question was related to?
So it was linking up to CPD points, but
CPD point.
Probably down the line.
Yes, definitely. It's one of our goals in the next 18 months or so is to accredit some of our courses, specifically our courses to CPD. So it's not just courses that undergraduate students can do. It also courses that postgrad students can, postgrad trainees can do as well during their GP training. For example, ECGs, right? A GP might forget about ECGs and might want to do a refresher and earn CPDs in that process as well.
The content production, are you creating all the content yourselves?
Correct. So the
and you can't license it from, do you have to create it all yourself?
So one of the key values is that one is the element of brevity, because GPs need to have a whole breadth of knowledge rather than depth of knowledge. So so we wanted to keep these our content items to be short and to the point. Another value of ours that we highlighted is that the content is contextually relevant to the resource-limited setting. A lot of the medical literature that currently exists is developed and written in the global north, so it only largely applies to that context. Not necessarily when it comes to the disease process itself, but certainly when it comes to the management element. We can't do a CT scan, for example, for everyone because of our limitations in resources. And so there are some variation when it comes to that approach in this context.
Are you speaking to Zule?
We haven't spoken to Zule, not yet, no.
Come on, she's adding.
Where is it?
Okay, I'm like, she's adding CPD points.
Yeah.
Come, you need to, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll speak to you afterwards.
There's nothing from my side, thank you.
No questions, okay.
Trying to frame this in my
Content
head.
dev is hard. Like,
Yes, so content we're recognizing, because we're getting specialist
my
doctors
business
to
partner
create
comes
this
from a
content as well.
publishing background, and she's like, I thought my publishing career was dead, but it's not.
No, so content's very difficult for us as well because we recognize that we're working with surgeons, doctors, specialists. Their hourly rate is expensive. And so you're saying, can we have your hour that you would otherwise spend in theater writing content? And so, yeah, that's one of the things that's quite tough as well for us because it's quite expensive to get doctors on board.
So
to
who's
write.
your key target market, the target user, right? Because for me, what's like ringing in my head is why not go to hospitals or private hospitals in essence. I don't know how it works in the profession per se.
Right.
But as a reformed accountant in terms of CA, I know to keep your accreditation,
right,
you constantly have to upskill yourself in a way. Right?
Yeah.
And you've got more money as a working doctor or
Yeah.
Right.
surgeon than a student. Because students are time rich and money poor
Yeah.
versus the busy surgeon.
Yes, this is very true, and but we are very much trying to solve the problem from its root, rather than at the end when someone is already, finished med school. In terms of what I mean by that is, when it comes to when learning things, we believe that the best measure of expertise is knowledge, right? And in your medical career, most of the time that you're actually spending reading a book is during medical school, not so much when you're in clinical practice. And so we think that's the best time to intervene in
So
that
where do you
stage.
fit in the whole education thing, right? Are you working alongside universities? Are you
With and alongside them, exactly.
Are you like allowing people who would not otherwise have access to actually getting this kind of knowledge to actually get it? For example, someone Lusigisi or wherever.
That's
that
an
has
interesting example. I'm from there.
Oh, is it?
Like, what? That's really, yeah.
No, but what I'm trying to understand is, right, are you trying to bridge a gap and actually creating a wider pool of potential doctors? Or are you trying to get the current doctors that are in the pipeline, who are already a limited number in essence in themselves, get through the pipeline? So where exactly do you fit in the whole
So,
spectrum?
yeah, so we primarily focusing on currently existing medical schools and augmenting their curricula, specifically in the clinical years of training, the second half of medical school. But we're also interested in helping the new medical schools that are being developed expedite their process when it comes to curriculum delivery and delivering that curriculum. Designing that curriculum and delivering that curriculum. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Pinda. That's time.
Oh, that's time.
Next up, Elvita, you're up.
You can eat an elephant from different directions. So don't discount. You can still reach
The
new
students.
doctors and students eventually. So don't limit yourself by maybe potentially discounting quick wins, much shorter, sharper, narrower piece of traction in a market that will pay you,
right,
and demonstrate to potential investors real product market fit, because you're so focused on the lower end,
Right.
From
Yeah.
from a purpose perspective. So don't let your purpose get in and stand in the way of potential quick demonstration.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Oh.
The big one advances, the one takes it back, and then that's the laser 2.2. Yes, your microphone.
Okay, great, thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I'm Hilda Castreris and the CEO and co-founder of two tech companies. Today, I'm going to focus a little bit on Hello Budgie. It's all about communication, smartphones, and getting the smartphones into the hands of, that's where we started off with smartphones, getting everybody onto digital platforms. I wanted to show you a live link, but basically what we have created is, and perhaps I can show you afterwards, so I'll just keep onto that one, is, sorry, can I just stand here? My nerves. We create instant e-commerce websites. It's all-in-one plug-and-play for a variety of different entrepreneurs that's selling throughout Africa, smartphones, scooters, routers, any kind of product on credit. So we white label an e-commerce website. It takes us a few minutes. And we also then support technology tools and resources. So we have financiers that's plugged in already. We have payment portals plugged in already. And we have, because our customers are so largely selling smartphones, laptops, those types of things, we have technology that locks and unlocks phones on credit, which we have seen bad debt go from above 30% to below 5%. And so we have had a lot of traction with the technology. What makes us different? Once we've given you the website, we give you personalized one-on-one support. So each of our customers has a dedicated web master or our tech team supports them initially with all the work that's required. And then we have an ongoing, more specialized set of techies that we can call on to integrate APIs, to scale, to grow, to change this initial website that you had bought from us. So we already integrated. We are live in Nigeria, Zambia, and South Africa, and there we have already integrated with finance partners. So if you're selling anything, you could now be selling it on credit, and you could start tomorrow. So if it's scooters, we load up 9. We integrate you with the finance partner so that you can sell cash and on credit. And so we support small SMEs, startups, but also big organizations. What we find with the big organizations is it takes so long with all the departments. We sometimes have Zoom calls with 50 people. By the time that we can actually get the process or the POC in place, many of the people have changed positions, and it just takes very long. In this way, we can instantly show them what they're getting. They do a POC, and okay, and the cutting-edge technology. Okay, cutting-edge technology. So one of the things that we are very proud of is that we have developed unique software. We've got a few competitors, but our software is unique in that it's built on Android, open source, so we're not dependent on Google or beholden to Google. We are not beholden to any brands, Samsung or Nokia, for instance, when it comes to smartphones. And we have had a very nice traction with a 40% growth we're expecting this month. Both of these startups are bootstrapped. And we have many benefits. I think my time is running up, so I don't want to. Okay, cool. Maybe just a little bit. What we also then do is, where we are able to, we implement the delivery. We, just like credit cards today, we deliver the phone in the hands of the end user. So you, as a business owner, have your website, you do the selling, and we do the heavy lifting and help you with your technology. So really, it's a base for entrepreneurs to get off the ground. Okay, Control X, this is the technology that I'm referring to. Many benefits, very specialized, very powerful. We can embed apps, we can block apps, we can lock, we can unlock, we can geolocate. So in terms of bad debt, this is a game changer in the smartphone industry, and enabling everybody to get credit to buy a smartphone on credit. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, guys. Yes.
So, okay. So I've got a fleet of
Yes.
So I'm selling e-scooters in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay. And you going to, with my website, you can set the website up. I'm going to sell them, and then with your control thing, let's say you're going to be able to collect
Yes.
payment on a
Introduce you to a funder.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you the website. You're going to start by selling tomorrow, and I'm going to give you the tools to lock and unlock. For those people that buy on credit, that's not made their payment. So what we find, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I know you you mentioned that you're in Zambia, Nigeria, South Africa. Can you talk to me about your traction in terms of...
Okay. So today, what we've done is we've got Control X. We've got two businesses, Control X and Hello Budgie. So Control X, I've got traction in 9 or 8 African countries already. It's going very well. It's widely used in Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, Lesotho, etc., etc. So what we found is that people are saying, yes, don't give me the locking technology. I want the layer on top that says, here's the e-commerce. So there's traction in Control X, less traction in Hello Budgie, but we've just finished the platform.
Okay.
But we've got customers and we are launching. So instead of having...
So Hello Budgie was almost spun out of Control X?
Yes,
Okay.
correct, yes. It's on the request of, and have Nigeria, etc., etc. Such a slow process to get started. It's new technology. People just getting into the space of everybody wants to get onto the digital platforms or get their customer base onto smartphones. So it's complementary to each other. So instead of the bank building the website, we just give them the website, and then they use our technology to sell anything on credit, but also on cash. So there's this massive growth happening in Africa, and anything on credit products. People in Africa don't buy smartphones like we do at Vodacom easily on credit. Mostly it's 3 months, and so there's a massive expansion that we're seeing. And we've got a bird's eye view with Control X because we obviously have customers using Control X to lock and unlock their devices. So we see their growth. We've seen from nobody thinking that they need it up until, now it's almost like the big MNOs are coming to us and saying, can we have your technology? Can you help us with the POC? Can you give us a website?
Okay, very interesting. Thanks.
Okay.
And how much money are you raising? Like anything like that?
We are wanting to raise $5 million
Okay.
for expanding throughout Africa. It's call centers, yeah.
And how much are your revenues?
My revenues is not close to, but R1 million a month, getting there with 40% growth. But as I said, this product has just been built.
Are you raising $5 million for both?
Yes, I want to buy the Control X with different shareholders and put the umbrella over. I'm the CEO of both. I'm the co-founder of both.
Okay.
So we are two technology companies that's selling the same things. So we are looking at bringing them together and then expanding, putting a big marketing campaign together, getting the call center and the tech people that's supporting our entrepreneurs. So yes,
And
we
then
are
exiting some of the other shareholders from...
I don't want to really exit them. I want to bring them all along into the same group because we are all working shareholders.
Okay.
Yes, we are all bringing our, so actually more rather the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
20 seconds left.
It's a more fundamental question, right? What business are you actually building, right? And what offering are you actually like taking to market? Because it seems like you're not a financier, you're an enabler to financial houses or
Yes.
hard sell kind of people. So is that what you're taking to market and helping them digitize? So like your traditional cell phone providers and helping them sell, or are you going to banks and saying, well, here's a potential market, you underwrite it, but we'll be the vehicle in which you're doing it. So I'm just trying to understand
Okay,
exactly where you
so
fit.
what we're finding is that banks, Capitec, all the banks, insurance companies, they're all looking at getting smartphones and getting their customer base onto a smartphone. But we also then have financiers that's looking at investing in Africa and benefiting from the interest rates and the monies that you can make just as a funder. Taking that European, so what we have is European-based companies that's investing everywhere in Africa, buying up small credit companies. So we are marrying the entrepreneur with the credit company. It's like an all-in-one package. Here's how to start. No delays in investing loads of money, creating your own website. As a POC or as a starting point, we give you the website, we introduce you to the funder, we assist and support you with a real life person. You want to change this product, you want to do this quick. So we leave them to, and it's not just small businesses, it's banks as well. It's just difficult for banks and for small businesses to understand and get to all the technical RICA, deliver, face recognition, KYC, all these little functions, all the different spokes in the wheel. So we just put it all nicely packaged and somebody can start literally in a week from now, depending on how quickly they get the logos together and the images for us. But we also, we can even do the logos for them. We have done that for guys. So yeah, if you're out in the business, sorry. Okay, good. There you go. There you go.
There you go. Fabulous. Thank you so much to everybody. Founders, congratulations. Well done. That was fantastic. Judges, can I please give you just 5 minutes to deliberate and to crown your winner? And 5 minutes time, we'll see who the winner is. And can I ask that we stay in here because getting everybody back in is always a mission. So 5 minutes, network. Let's all be friends, all here, and then we'll decide who our winner is. Thanks, judges.
Is it like, oh, it is. I've never seen it in a box. I've only seen it in that bottle. And then, yeah, the 10,000 was in my right. And then, yeah, every all the black kids, and then the other, quite a few. You probably know. Yeah. And then the other Yeah, swap. That's a very good swap.
You've got feedback as well from me, right?
We let everybody out. Now we're going to struggle to get them back.
I told them not to go out. Nobody listens to me.
If we let them go, they won't come back, Nani.
Maar dat we vissen en skiën met het naam. It's always me. Nonnie.
None.
Okay.
I got it. I'm just saying Nani.
So he's speaking. They're all speaking. He's got the prize. Okay. Okay, you're ready. All right, in the interest of time, can you all just quickly settle? Time for us to find out who our winner is for today. Can you kindly settle, please? All right.
Thank you, everyone. So first of all, if I could ask you to give a big round of applause to all the women who pitched today. I always love seeing a whole variety of businesses pitching and learning about new businesses, and it's even more special when it's all women. And really, thank you so much for getting up here and presenting us with your businesses. So lots of businesses at various stages, with various tractions and things like that. But we didn't confer as judges as much as you would think. We actually put it all into the amazing Grindstone system, and there was a clear winner. So without further ado, I'd like to announce the winner. But wait, before we find out who it is, we need to know what the amazing prize is, right? So the biggest prize is this wonderful bottle of champagne. Woo! So this is the celebratory part of the knife. Then we have the knowledge part of knife, which includes the first chapter by Catherine Young. Woo! Yeah, did you know you chapter 1? And I'm hoping to get a copy of this book in my Christmas stocking from Grindstone and Knife. And then the most valuable prize will depend, advice is priceless. But then the monetary prize is also 10,000 Rand worth of money, cash.
Sponsored by Grindstone, yeah.
You know, usually there's no, you put in it now. And I just said, you know what, we'll give them 10,000 Rand, and you can spend it on yourself or your business.
Yeah, sorry, can you just use that?
Oh.
One's not working. I don't know if you...
Sorry.
You've muted it.
Sorry. Sorry. There's a little bit of a problem here because I think that this prize is going to have to be split in all good families because the prize goes to 4 Minute Medicine. And I have twin sisters. And I've got twin sisters, so I know that things need to be shared amongst twins. Brilliant pitch. Oh yeah.
We'll split.
But do we need
Oh yeah, the background of it.
There's the background, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, guys, just
Okay.
One, two, three.
guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Imagine we go back and PR says we didn't get a picture.
Wait, I need to do pictures too.
I don't want to be in trouble.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, guys, and just small for me as well.
Man on that side.
Okay, let me move this quickly.
Thanks so much, guys. All right. 1, 2, 3, big smiles. Press up. There we go. And
Wait. Oh, there's a video. Smartphones, yes, there we go. Smile, big smiles. One more. Fantastic. Congratulations to the twins. Well done. And also a huge round of applause. Just a huge round of applause to all our founders. Their pitches were amazing. I'd like to call up Noni for the closing remarks because we have come to the end of our program. So if she can just come up quickly to close it off.
away with really just feeling, I feel really fulfilled, but I also feel like I've learned a lot. It was really insightful as well, and thank you so much to the judges for their time today as well, and just really sharing, your questions were in itself feedback, so that was really great as well, so thank you very much. Well done to all the pitches, and thank you for your time too, but most importantly, thank you to AWS for partnering with us and making this happen in South Africa and really bringing these demo days to South Africa. So thank you, and shout out Henry, shout out Ale, shout out Geraldine, shout out Stay, shout out all of you, but more as well. Thank you. And thank you to the Skills Center as well for hosting us today, but also to our ecosystem players, our partners, all of the people in the room that have been supporting Grindstone, our work, as well as AWS as well, and their partners, and really just supporting today. Thank you to you all. And to all of you, our lovely guests, thank you. You were all amazing, very engaging. To our panelists as well, and all of our speakers. This was really great. And once again, thank you, everyone. So quick round of applause for everyone in the room. And then, in the spirit of winning, Catherine has a very giving heart, and so we did do this in Joburg, and it felt right as well to do it today. So everyone in the room will get a sponsored prize, which is the free license to the Thinkubate platform, which is sponsored by Thinkroom, and that's essentially giving you tools and tips and videos and content and templates that you can use really to help you build your business. So some of you in the room may be familiar with that platform already and may have already used it. Others of you not, but please do reach out to make use of that. You will get more details on how to get that information in the follow-up emails that come with this. And then, we also have Global Entrepreneurship Week coming up. So that is next week, and we're going to continue with these ecosystem engagements. So please do follow the Grindstone pages to find out our updates. But we do have a comedy online event happening on Wednesday, which we feel you should all be coming to. And then we also have a valuations masterclass that will be run by Keert van Zyl from Knife Capital. That is normally very exclusive to our Grindstone cohorts, but we are opening up to the public with this. So please do join us on Thursday for that as well. But follow the Grindstone pages to find out more details on how to register for those. But I will hand over to Ale, who's going to, who will be giving us a little more just around AWS feedback as well. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Noni. I think she's done all of the thank yous, but so hello, I'm Ala Ismail. I'm the Senior Program Manager for EMEA Startup BD, and I'm honored to be here and to be hosting the demo day with our partners, Grindstone. So I just want to say a massive thank you again to all of the speakers, all of the amazing startups, super inspiring, our panelists, our judges, and all the attendees. So what I just want to quickly say is that for our participating founders, as a thank you, we would like to offer you, for those who are eligible, £10,000 in AWS credits to help you, support you on your journey as founders. And for all the founders that are in the room who have attended, I would like to welcome you to join our AWS Reach community. This is a global community for underrepresented founders where you can get access to training as well as $5,000 in AWS credits. So again, a little bit of a boost to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So thank you. We will be sending around an email to kind of summarize and give you instructions about how you can get access to some of this credits and resources that we have available. So just before we kick off with networking, I'd like to ask for a big, big favor. If you can go and complete the survey by either copying the link or getting the QR code and sharing some of your feedback with us. This is really, really important because it's your feedback that will help us improve some of these demo days for next year. And really, we want to be doing it back in Cape Town again next year. So, so your feedback would be essential. I will leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed the demo day as much as I have, and we'll open the floor to networking. I'll pass you to Noni to close for us. Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for participating, founders, judges, and everybody else that's here. Thank you so much. And yeah, travel safe. We'll see you next time, right?